Why that clown had sharp toenails.
Oh, right. Once I finished the zombie, this thing gave me so much trouble. Really.
It's a little dried out on the back, I can tell, so be careful with it. It might start falling apart.
You're live on YouTube, Mike?
I just went live, so we should be live on YouTube.
Now.
Does it look live to you? Yeah.
I just got the notification, so let me refresh.
I need to spritz this guy. Do we have a water bottle? It's one of these.
I do.
Oh, that one.
Let me go put some water in.
Kayla, what's new? Anything exciting?
No, too exciting Monday.
Monday.
Simply because our last push for the containers this week.
It's exciting. Exciting to get it done. Right.
I think the next Tuesday or Wednesday, not on this week. But of course, it's 100 degrees for the first time.
It's been the weirdest spring, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like hot, cold, and hot, cold. I thought we were gonna have some of the shut off days now when it was like 90 something March. But my niece's birthday is March 20th. We got a swimming party. That's never happened.
That's great.
The life that I can remember. Oh yeah, back about this fall.
It's looking pretty good.
Hey. Mr. Where is the play at?
On the bottom of this gray shelf.
Yeah, I feel like I need to finish the teeth in the mouth and my quarters. They're all fun days, right?
It's all fun days. I'm definitely in get it done mode. So fun is secondary.
That's that right?
7 days to finish something that feels like we just started.
And how long have you been working on it?
60 days on Friday.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, listen, that's a lot of days for, 60 days is a lot of days for a job, but we should have 2 more months. Like, nobody does what we're doing right now. It is absolutely insane.
Every time you tell me that you're doing something, I underestimate what you're doing. Not because I don't believe in you or trust you, but because my brain is automatically like, because you always give me the time frame, and I'm like, okay, so this is, and then the shit that you accomplish is incredible.
But failure is not an option either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this thing is leaving on the 21st, next Wednesday. Right? Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. It leaves.
10 days.
And then we open the 29th on location, like grand opening, already planned. So it has to be done. How else do you get it to open? You know, I was so relieved on Friday when we put the facade up, or Saturday, was it Friday or Thursday?
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Put the facade up.
I saw the thing when I walked by.
That's just the lower half of it. There's also a top half.
Okay.
But at least when I saw it, I was like, thank God it's not pixelated. Thank God it's not pixelated. Because, like, until you put it up, what if that image didn't translate? You know,
That's my
how
fear.
many,
Every time I
how
put
many
it in.
people do you see put a movie poster out and you're like, oh, come on, man, 300 DPI. But try doing that 40 foot by 10 foot.
Yeah.
That is insanely large.
Yeah.
And we worked with a billboard company, and it was as smooth as it could go. But, geez, is that nerve wracking? Because I'm in control of everything I do except for once it goes to print. And I can't tell you, I mean, we deal with this company here in town. I mentioned names, so I don't want to put them on blast. We use them all the time. Not in Boulder City. They are in Henderson, not Boulder City. Boulder City printers are amazing that we use. Well, got print. Oh, my God. Good job. Good job, graphics. Amazing. I use them for everything. Except movie posters. And the people I use for movie posters are 40, 60 do I get what I want. And 40% of the time I get what I want, 60% I don't.
Yeah,
I'm like, and then they don't know how to use the paper cutters or something because they cut the borders off wrong. Everything's always wrong, and I'm like, what are you guys? What's the deal?
yeah.
What is happening? We're talking about something that should be so simple.
Quick question. Right now, like I'm patching all these holes with fresh clay.
Yeah.
Is that all I gotta do? Like
It'll actually dry out the fresh clay quicker.
Okay.
I mean, because it's going to suck. It's thirsty for moisture. So what you should do throughout this whole process is continue to spray it.
Okay.
You can't spray it enough.
Yeah, it's rock hard.
Yeah. So if you just keep spraying it as you go, like every minute or so, you'll be better for it.
Yeah, you were talking about the what do you call it? Like the deadlines and like it's on those time crunches.
This is why I get so angry at people in post.
Right.
Because I can't say, hey, we're gonna need another month.
Well, and that was the point I wanted to bring up was that like you have to do that to yourself. You have to give yourself a deadline, or else you don't have a deadline. And it's just when you don't have a deadline, even everything I do, if I don't put a deadline on it, it takes 10 times longer than it should take.
But then look at something like our Indiegogo campaign that we had a deadline, but against our out of our control, out of our Indiegogo's like, no, not yet.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason also why you need deadline, because the variable of other people slowing you down will slow you down even more.
Yeah.
So like we're ready to go, we're just waiting on that to get done. It's just like, you know, we'll still get up and running, but we've been up and running 2 months later. You know, maybe shoot the movie next year.
Yeah.
And it's and the lesson I learned really early, where I was like, luckily I had the realization. I was like, if I don't stick to this deadline, even though it was with our first movie, because as it was getting closer, everybody was a little nervous. Everything's not buttoned up. There's just so many unknowns. And I just knew, I was like, I don't know this now. I'll put it off for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you'll never do it.
And it's like, and it all comes together. It all works out. So
My wife says there's people that spend time avoiding doing what they don't want to do, and there's people that chase what they do. And I'm a chaser, obviously, but because of that, you have to do all the stuff you don't want to do to get to do what you want to do.
yeah.
And part of what I don't want to do is, build ramps on a house, but I want to open it, so I gotta build fucking ramps. It's so funny that things like ramps and doors are the things that drive me crazy.
Because it's not
It's not hard,
Yeah,
but it's not fun. It's not fun. And I feel like my talents are wasted to do that. Although, honestly, it's more important than the fun stuff. Like, you need a way for people with wheelchairs to get in. It's more important than what I'm doing. Create memories. The doors, without the doors, we don't have the
Get in.
So,
I think that's the crux of being a creative person.
being a creative, but also being the guy that has to do it all. That's something that we have to face all the time. Like, all right.
Well, when you're making stuff, just around the conversation actually was last night. But it's just about when he says like I think like that kind of rush when you're creating something, you're still amazing. It's like you get all these wins that just feel so cool seeing your
You get a dopamine hit.
dopamine is exactly right. And I never really thought about this before with work, but I was maybe I was like, oh, that's true. It's like that's why.
That's why I
rush
love
to do that.
That's why I love the premieres of the movies so much, because you get that dopamine dump of everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Everybody likes it. They're all finally enjoying what we made. And,
Which is also the problem about making a movie too, is because you get that when you're on set making the movie.
Yeah.
And when you go into editing, that's not the part where you get to watch it.
No, not until you show it to
Yeah, but there's a lot of hard work that has to be done. And the opposite actually too, it's like when you get a lot of the negative ones, like where you string something together, it doesn't have the sound of music or whatever, it's not working, and so it's just like,
Is there a water cup over there? Play-Doh. I don't know where
I think is this one used for fill water?
Oh, I got one right there. It's right in front of me. sounds like a good point.
Oh. So, what did you say? How many days left you got on the bill?
7 days counting today.
And then,
Insane.
and that will be.
If you walk through right now, you'd be like, you mean 7 weeks, right? Like,
Well, when you took me through it last week, I was like, I mean, I didn't know you had a lot of work. I'm like, God, man, that's so cool.
oh, glad to hear that. I see. What
Yeah, you see all this stuff that's not that good. But after that 7 days, that's when you'll start to do the test on it.
Yeah. So I'm hoping Monday, Tuesday. Do the test walkthroughs. It might be Tuesday today. My goal is Monday. I think we're gonna have some barbecues in the parking lot, some late nights before that.
When you like this kind of stuff, do you does it kind of give you trouble? Is there a late? Is there
At
a
the
time?
beginning, he got some trouble on this one. The beginning. And that was due to some people calling and having a problem with it, and thinking that it was a permanent haunted house here, and it was ugly in the parking lot or whatever their
Yeah.
thought process was. But, early on, we were not anymore. I put a message out online on like the Boulder City Neighborhood Connection, just assuring everybody what it was going to be. And people are, they're good.
So for anyone that I guess is tuned in and knows that we're doing a crowdfunding campaign, right now, just a little heads up is that we're just waiting for the account to be approved, everything ready to pretty much launch as soon as we get it approved. We go.
Yeah, Indiegogo is just dragging their feet with our account information as far as like, believing that we are us.
Right.
It's weird. There's like a ton of identity check stuff, which is good. I mean, it's online money,
Yeah.
but they're really making it more difficult than I feel like I had expected or anticipated.
Yeah. But it's part of the learning process.
Yep. So next time we will count maybe a little bit more time. Although maybe once this account is set up, we don't have to do this part again.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. This thing.
But if you are working with other filmmakers, you might want to
I think after this one, what I will do, if I am gonna,
set it up as your own.
yeah, I'll set up one that I really go through. Because I think what I'm curious about is the way that we set it up. If I would have set it up, well, I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, if it would have been like, let's say the Indiegogo sort of club was my business,
Yeah.
but I ran different filmmakers through it and attached their bank accounts each time. We probably run the massive problem with branch.
Or you don't attach their bank accounts, you keep it your business and then you pay them. You know. But I don't know if that messes with taxes.
I hate taxes so much. Especially, my whole life I worked, a job, a paycheck job.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to fuck around with taxes the last 6 years. Working differently is.
Has it only been 6 years since you stepped away from the casino stuff?
Yeah. I left right. I literally left like 6 months maybe before COVID.
Okay. I would have thought
I got lucky.
longer.
Yeah. No. I mean, I had always been doing all this stuff as my hobby.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to figure out how to make a living.
They're doing a pretty good job. It's hard to make a living hawking wares to others.
Yeah, it's very hard.
And movie industry is not forgiving when it comes to the highs and lows of like making a lot of money, making no money.
Right.
You know, this is super successful and we're going to take over the world to, well, it's kind of a hobby, but we're calling it our job.
Back it up, go back to the casino. That was my biggest fear when I like in the I've been before, but the in the casino business, what you see all the time, no one loves working in the casino. Nobody. When you're young,
I hear that actually, and it's kind of funny. You know, I think it seems like such a fun existence.
yeah, I mean, when I was young, it was fun. Like when I was in my early 20s, going in there, it's a great kind of job to like be young in.
Yeah.
You never goes out and parties and it's fun after work, gambles and fucks around, but it's not a sustainable, like, decent life for anyone. But the business itself is just it's just a really cool business. Like, they don't care if you have a family. It's a very hard kind of manage your own life. If you're on day shift, it's not, but it's like, you have to work every holiday, you have to work, like just all kinds of stuff. So it's not fun. And after 2008, whatever, the housing collapse happened,
Yeah.
and everything just went to shit. Like, it doesn't pay well anymore, really. So it's just, there's still a lot of people when I have friends working, but it's just not something that people are like, God, I love working. There's a few, or there's some, but most people. And my point
Like when Swingers came out, Vegas felt like the coolest spot ever.
oh yeah. And actually, it was super. Swingers, I fucking love.
I love
And
that
I love
movie.
Maid, and I love Front Row, and that just made your job more fun. Like,
Because of all these 20-somethings coming in and being like, money, baby, money.
yeah, just being like shitty with cocktail waitresses and disrespectful, and because it's all funny in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's not really in real life. I mean,
I was one of those kids, maybe.
yeah,
I don't think I was ever disrespectful or anything, but like when I never, I'll be honest, didn't actually make it to Vegas, just made it to Prim, Buffalo Bills. But when we were like living our best swingers life, smoking cigars. I smoked cigars. Yeah, that's the only time I ever smoked anything. One night at a bachelor party in not Vegas, state.
Just saw an article about how the premise is dying slowly.
Oh, it's closed.
Is it finally closed?
Yeah, so I'm in the hunt, and I am trying very hard to acquire the Sally Corporation animatronic miners that are in there from around the ride, all the animatronic
Oh,
figures.
really?
I got the shooting gallery right there is from Buffalo Bills.
Oh, cool.
And I'm trying so hard to get animatronic characters.
What's the challenge?
We're not getting them to let them go. We're not selling for $1 bazillion. So if they go to auction, I'll never win them. I'll never be able to afford them. So I can get them privately, golden,
Who buys that? Like when it goes to auction, is it there's like collectors?
Dude, animatronic collecting is like
It's like a
put
small
your
group with a
Star
lot of
Wars
money.
collection
Yeah.
to shame. Very, very niche group of people with a ton of money. You gotta understand, like, I don't know if you ever remember or you were ever here when I used to have my Rockefeller explosion robots in the front of the museum.
Oh yeah, I remember. But the flushing ones, right?
No.
Oh
The Rockefeller is the animatronic band from Showbiz Pizza Place
no.
before Chuck E. Cheese. So those robots, people would come to the museum just to see those robots. Like they have such a small figure, but there's only 230 of them ever made.
Right.
And I had 3 of them. And I sold them when I got super broke after the dinosaur adventure, and that broke my soul. So that brings me to another conversation, actually. Last night I watched on Hulu, they have like some shorts for the Hulu Ween Film Fest or whatever.
Okay.
There was a short film called Hug. And for those who don't know, I notoriously hate short films. I hate them. I love this short film. It was amazing. I recommend you to watch it. It's 5 minutes long. That's how long a short film should be. It's 5 minutes long. It is based around an animatronic pizza place. They use Billy Bob's actual face. That's Billy Bob right there from Rocket Fire Explosion. They used Billy Bob's face and got permission. I saw Aaron Fector was credited in the credits. He's the creator of Billy Bob. He's the creator of the Rocket Fire Explosion. He also sent a ton of the Boston Museum a nasty letter and a cease and desist when I had my robots here.
On what, like ground?
The fact that this place doesn't represent what they were built for or something. I ended up selling my robots to a guy named Jack, who where they are, who they are, who have it. He tracked me down. And when I was super broke, because of Dinosaur Adventure, I sold them to him all their weakness. It's maybe one regret of my life. I don't regret much. I regret that. It was freaking hard times. Hard times, baby.
I bet that was my collectible life. Where like I've got like broke for too much money. I sell something, it's just like the easiest thing to get the bulk of the money back.
Yep.
And then later on, I'm like, God, like,
Well,
I don't even know what I did with that
That's
money.
exactly what I did, but the problem was I did it to pay off a credit card,
Right.
and I did pay that credit card off, and then that credit card removed my limit down to 1,000. And I was like, I just gave you the money. And they're like, yeah, but based on your credit report. And I was like, what do you mean my credit report? I just paid you because I'm not paying anybody else because I'm paying you.
Right.
And I was so mad. I'd never been so upset about selling something. I should have just not sold it
Yeah.
because I was still broke. It was so unfortunate. And I love those robots more than anything.
So where are those now?
So they went to Missouri to Jack's place, and he refurbished them, and I believe he resold them. But he knows where everything is. He knows every person that has all of the Rockfire characters that were ever made. He knows every person that,
Oh, wow.
if they still exist, and if they burned in a fire or they went down in some amusement parks like Prim, they could demolish Buffalo Bills tomorrow and leave those figures in there. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, is getting those figures before they go to auction and get bought by some animatronic collector. They're made by the Sally Corporation, which is the #1 animatronic builder.
They're
And,
still around.
and yeah, they're in Orlando, Sally Corporation. And so those Prim figures, I could reprogram. Those could be so cool in the haunted attraction.
Would you like reskin them, or you use them if they are?
Some of both, because we have a mine in our haunted attraction, so the miners fit perfect. The Blackwell mine code. I'll probably lean into it harder with those figures. It'd be really cool.
Prime Photos says, enjoy your content, keep up the good work.
Who said it?
Their name is Prime Photo.
Oh yeah. I see the likes and the comments on the videos. We hit our first level of monetization on the videos.
Did you?
Yeah, right. You had to put an application in or whatever. That's where we are. I'm not gonna announce it really until I know, but we're able to take those little gifts or whatever and
Yeah.
you know, got the watch hours up.
Chats.
Yeah, the super chats. I don't know a whole lot about that stuff, but
We'll
And I
dig
don't-
out one day.
and I
I'll
don't-
show you.
pay much attention to the numbers. But I wanted to just keep going, but Lola was real excited. That was probably on Friday, I think.
Awesome. We've been working hard at it for months.
Yep.
You guys have had you took a couple swings at YouTube.
We've done this over the years, and we've gotten really close. Back in the partnership days, we were offered a YouTube partnership, and we removed the video. It was because also a TV company approached us and was like, "We want to sell this as a TV show. We have to take it off YouTube." That was a big mistake. We had over 1 million views in like a day, and because I had just come off Face Off, and the opening was like, "Hi, my name's Sandel, and I just got kicked off Face Off. This is my team. This is my shop." And it was called American Nightmare. It was like American Chopper, but with making monsters. And man, it was very cool, but I just didn't. I didn't play the cards right. I should have never removed it off YouTube. I should have kept making my own episodes. And right now we'd be, Vice Grip Garage or one of those YouTube shows that has just gone huge because there's always content. You've seen it, and the people watching daily now have seen it. There's always content surrounding this place.
Yeah.
Whether it's Monster Museum, my own personal life, friends. There's always content being presented, not always recorded until this year. But it's weird to watch back on this year and be like, holy cow, look at all that stuff. Remember when when we sold our boxing robots, the battle bots.
Yeah, it's simple to have that all documented.
You know, and it's like, you know,
I loved when you did your April Fool's joke.
yeah.
That was awesome.
I can't believe how many people fell for it.
I know. I mean, I've not been around you for your April Fool, but you've told me about it before and I've heard about it. And I knew it was April Fool's when I was watching that video, and I didn't think for a moment. I was like, damn. And then when the guys following you around the hospital, and it's funny because it doesn't make sense to say it out loud, but your makeup was so good that I didn't even think for a moment it would be makeup. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks. Most people, if they tried to pull it off, you know, it just look
Like little blood spot.
Yeah, it just wouldn't look right. But you look like a nice.
I don't know if you know this, Mike, but I'm an effects artist.
Yeah, it turns out that's why the makeup was good.
My best April Fool's makeup job years ago, I was in Florida, and I used to volunteer at a animal rescue nature center, and I mostly dealt with the reptiles because I love reptiles. So I have a picture of me holding a baby alligator, probably about 4 foot, holding an alligator. And then I did a makeup on my hand with a huge bite mark. And then I did a makeup with stitches over top of it. And I did 3 pictures. One of me holding the alligator, sent it to my mom in the morning. Later that afternoon, sitting down, looking like I was in an ER, but I wasn't. I was just in an office with the wound on my hand. Said, well, ended up at the ER. That evening, the stitches on the dock of my father-in-law's dock at his house, said, stitched up, back to fishing. This is all in a day. I'm Devlin. My mom freaked out thinking I got bit by an alligator. And I laughed so hard I dropped my phone off the dock into the water. So joke's on me, kind of. I thoroughly love April Fools. But I used to do April Fools with makeup as a kid too. I remember shaving crayons, like purple and red crayons, shaving them and then smearing a black eye into my eye, and just coming home being like, "Oh, I got beat up." She's gullible, man. My mom's a gullible lady.
All for it
Every single time.
Has Tom pulled any April Fool's
Every year. Coach Patrick says 1313 is a cool number.
Said what?
1313 is a cool number.
Of course it is. The best.
What is the 1313 stand for again?
1313 Montyburn Lane is the address of the Monsters. And, Butch being our partner in crime on the House of Monsters here, it's just crazy because, like, my daughter's name is Lily, clearly after Lily Monster. My effects company that goes back 26 years now is 1313 Effects.
Yeah.
And,
That's why you got it. That's why you
yeah, that's 100% why. I love the Monsters, man. And the fact that he walked into the Monster Museum one day and became Uncle Butch is
cool.
pretty much the coolest thing ever. Now we're making this awesome attraction that this monster is going to go in.
How exciting. It's going to be really cool. Hopefully, more.
I think we're going to do a little more.
Do you think there's a world where you would do one like somewhere in Vegas?
I don't think
Too
so.
close to where
I'm too close to the real monster meeting, but I would. Unless, like, it would have to be the right environment, though. Like, really, our aim is for stuff like mom and pop home amusement parks.
Right.
It's a little too corporate here. You know what I mean? And that's the charm of the Monster Museum, but it's also the charm of the Munsters is it's so all American,
Yeah.
and the small towns is really the vibe for what we're doing. I mean, this definitely has roots in like 1960s carnival attraction to that kind of like wholesome fun.
Yeah. so cool. Because it's hard to, I don't ever think about it, but the idea that there are these things all over the country is so cool. The little mom and pop
Yeah.
sorts of. What is the name of this one?
This is called Indiana Beach, and it's a 100-year anniversary is this year. Same anniversary as Route 66 has the 100-year anniversary this year too.
Is there like so with what you're doing though, is there any parts of it that you kind of come across that you're like, I want to add that? Like, is there some functionality that you might want to put in your museum?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I tried to keep it different enough from the actual Monster Museum that, I mean, it's definitely not a replica of it. Like, it's not the same at all. But there are elements, especially the video elements, that I would really like to incorporate into Continental Monster Museum. And some of the character stuff that we've done. We made a Christopher Lee Frankenstein for this. He has belonged in the museum since I opened. I just never got around to doing it.
yeah.
The Robert De Niro Frankenstein monster, I would love that to live in the Monster Museum. Just never got around to doing it. I want to do a whole Hammer horror section. We speak a lot about the Hammer horror in this attraction because I don't think that's something that people are not educated enough on. Universal horror is huge, but the Hammer horror is scary.
Explain the difference.
Hammer is a company, I'd say more of a low budget company than Universal, more akin to Roger Corman, but it was in Europe, in England. And that's where Vincent Price and Christopher Lee and Peter, what's his face? Peter Cushing, all those horror icons kind of have their, their time in Hammer horror movies. But Christopher Lee Dracula is the first time we ever see blood with Dracula. They're a little bit more, I wouldn't say they're intense, but they're scary. They're scarier. They're more atmospheric. Not more, but different.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, to be honest with you, I'm very near to the Hammer horror stuff.
You should deep dive it one day. You can get the box set if you want physical media.
Yeah.
You should deep dive it because the Curse of the Werewolf, the Frankenstein arc is awesome. Like, their Universal horror, their horror that is akin to our Universal horror is dark, gothic, fun, moody, and Christopher Lee, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing both ended up in the Star Wars world.
Yeah.
They start here, and it's awesome. And the looks are so good.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I feel like in the last 3 to 5 years, I hear Hammer horror a lot. Like, I feel like it's kind of like the bigger group of.
The interesting thing is, this is how I always talk about like horror conventions have changed so much over the years. Because back in the day, you go to a horror convention, that's where you could get Hammer horror on VHS and stuff.
Right.
Because the internet wasn't what it is now. You didn't just go on Amazon and order whatever you want. And you had to have a PAL player, and you could really find cool stuff. Now it's all, you can get it anywhere.
Something on the internet, someone's releasing a Rogue One Andor cut where they mix them together. I think it was on YouTube. It's interesting how some of those things don't get shut down.
Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah, I don't know how, like, why some do and some don't. I don't know if they don't like shut down anything. But there's that one guy too with the Star Wars stuff who's like, he's named after him. The guy that re-released like all the originals. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, and he cut his own. He got rid of all the added stuff.
Yeah, like in the little Star Wars groups and stuff, like, people always talk about those cuts and physical media.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it still exists, but I think there's just go to the website and buy them. But it's also interesting that would last a long time. I need to get from you still, get finalized. We go over our list of all the perks.
Yes. I got a whole list of suggestions for perks, and I'm like, guys. Now here's the thing: I'm into the suggestions because I want everybody to feel stoked. But and some of those ideas are great ideas. I'm going to show it to you, and you can tell me what you think. And if you want to add any of it, you can add it. I also do realize we're trying to keep it like not a million options, but I don't know. There's some good ideas on there, and maybe we should have them.
Well, the guy that I know, that did one of the biggest campaigns that I met him. But you know, one of the cool things that he did was throughout his campaign was because, like, if he had a big YouTube channel, so like if multiple people would come up with an idea, he would add another person in the campaign.
Yeah.
And so I think there's.
So we might have some stuff to add if you feel suited. You know what I mean?
Sorry, everyone.
Hey, Michael Keaton, how is your knee? How's the knee doing? You got surgery. I thought about texting this morning. I forgot.
But yeah, I'm doing good. The only thing is, as I've dug in some more, you know, like one of the things I heard was just like too many kind of just overwhelmed people.
Yep.
But what I've also seen as interesting, and I don't know if I'm looking at it wrong, is that I feel like a lot of people got really lazy with 2000.
I feel like it too.
When I look at them, there's like the list of 8,000 things, but I don't even see the graphics. And I think maybe where that can work on target is like we're making separate, you know, not that they're all bad, but I think they're a little easier to kind of scroll through.
Yeah.
So I think we can get away with adding some more things.
Well, let me, after we're done here, let's just have a quick comment about that stuff. I just want to see us be as successful as possible, you know?
And we're good. I don't think if it works.
I think it's going to work. I think we're- I've had a lot of people interested in helping to work on the movie that I don't normally get. Keep it very close to my crew usually, you know?
Yeah.
My people, and I think it's an interesting thing. It kind of shows that like people are excited that we're opening the gates to Planet 10.
Yeah.
That we're letting other people be involved, you know. And I think that's something that some of our criticism might at times come from jealousy of not, you know, the FOMO, not getting invited to the party.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand, I try to explain to everybody, I don't not invite people to the party because I don't think we're good. I don't invite people to the party because we've got a job to do, and it only takes the 5 of us to do it the most efficiently. But I am open a little bit to some outside support. Not everybody, of course, but you know.
Yeah, on movie sets, it's easy to like bring too many people in, and have too many, you know, they all have to be well, do well, but it's like it just makes
It harder. There's more people. There's more bodies to control. It takes a certain personality of a person to be a, I don't want to say useful, but like to be on it without having to be told or asked because we're focusing on something else. You know?
well when you're producing it or directing it, and all that, it's like you have to think about 20 more people, you know, to try to keep busy or be whatever it is. It's like it's just too much. It's too. It doesn't add to the and it's not for everyone. That's the thing. Like I can't tell you how many times that people have wanted to come out and be on things that I've been around, and you know are like, you know, an hour later like what the fuck. Like, yeah, I don't know, movie set doing movie stuff is I think it's the funnest thing in the world. But I don't regret anyone that thinks it's crazy. Like it's exhausting.
It's not for everybody.
It's definitely just has to be for you. it's not going to be forever. Have you talked to anybody more about any of the roles?
I've been talking to people about casting, trying to get commitments from people, and it's going slower than I wish. But once I do know if they accept the roles, then I don't have to look for those people's roles. That's it's funny because I'm working on this attraction, trying to finish my book, trying to produce this movie, and everybody's like, I don't know how. It just all seems to go together at the same time. Like I feel like I use the energy for each one of them to accomplish the other. Yeah. When I'm driving to pick supplies up for this, I'm calling people about their commitment level on the movie. When I just feel like it all comes back at the same time. Yeah. It's very interesting experience.
Well, that is the challenge that we have to do. We put all your eggs like, oh, I'm making a movie.
Because I won't go into full movie production until July or June. June 1st, I will be making a movie.
So what is full movie production?
Building sets. I work with my actors before the movie quite a bit. Because we only have 5 days to shoot a movie. They need to know their lines. They need to be prepared. They have to understand what I'm doing. So I've been already working on this backstory for our antagonist, JW.
Yeah.
I've been working on some backstory lore for him that is really pretty cool, and that will be delivered to all of our cast members that should know who this guy is, so they can learn it and listen to it. And it's going to be delivered in audio form and written form, so they can listen to it. They know the lore as if they grew up knowing it, and that way, when they're explaining to the other characters that don't know about it, who I will not give this information to, they're speaking as matter of factly. They're not just reading the words on the page. And that's important to me. And then building zombies. Like, that's a huge part of June 1st. Me and the boys are building zombies.
So on the filmmaking side of it, as far as when it comes to like breaking your script down, your shot list, how do you guys approach that?
Kayla will break this whole script down, and I think she's already started. And she'll make a rough day of days, so I can see what makes sense. She'll do what the script makes sense to shoot each day, but then I'll go through it with her and say, move this to day 4, this to day 5. I need these 2 days together. We're going to do all these guys these days. So she'll shuffle. I have the schedule done. I will then make my own shot list, but we got to work on the shot list together too.
What is your shot list? The shot list for anyone that's kind of new to this stuff is, or even if you've done some of it, it's like there's a million ways to do these things. There really is.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that there are right ways. I know I thought there was a lot of right ways. So actually just freak me out more.
I really do stick to the shot list. I mean, I make a shot list of every camera shot that we're going to do that day, 12-hour day. And if I get those shots at 8.5 hours, we wrap. If I get those shots at 12 hours, we wrap. I never go over 12 hours. Is my goal. And so I don't know what my shot list looks like. A shot list. I can show you. I have a hard time explaining it.
But well, so to like when you do like the shot list, how use like wide shot, based on this amount of pages, or kind of like do you go into like?
Well,
some people, the reason why I'm asking is that for me, when I was learning that part of like lining a script and doing shot lists, I don't know why my brain could not fucking get it together.
What's the program?
It stressed me the fuck out.
What is it called?
synchronized.
Synchronized.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, they've got day days, they got shot lists, they've got your call sheets, everything.
So you're able. I used one call in the last movie we did. It's probably very similar. And now I haven't made a movie, in a while where I'm in charge of that. But even with AI now, like with ChatGPT, I've gone in and like put my script in, and I've played around with it, and I've gotten a really good result of that sort of thing. But
I'm really particular at what we have used since Teddy is what I use, and it has to look like that, otherwise I can't read it.
right.
I'm also retarded, so I've got to make it as easy for me as possible. But I have Kayla standing there with a notebook, and I constantly, Kayla, what are we doing here? What are we doing there? So she'll be like, kind of like my script supervisor and line producer at the same time, and AD, really. She's like an AD, a line producer, and a script supervisor, and that is easier for me than working with those three different people separately.
How's Kayla on set?
Kayla is
You have to be the bad guy sometimes.
no, there is no bad guy. I don't think there's ever a bad guy.
Not that there's bad, but like at least in my experience, it's like oftentimes things can get off the rail a little bit. You gotta get people to snap back into paying attention.
When I say quiet on the set, they usually shut the fuck up.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
But no, Kayla's really kind of nobody. I feel like it just she whispers in my ear, I whisper back to her ear. That's kind of we're just we work off of each other. There really is no. The hardest time is when people are having a good time in this room and we're trying to shoot in the next room, and I just have to tell them, guys, I know, just please be quiet or take it outside. And they get it, but at the same time, it's annoying to be told to be quiet all the time.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of people here that aren't involved, so they all want to get the product done, and
They all understand.
yeah, there's no bad guy. The couple crew members that have turned into the not favorables just aren't invited back. Then they feel. But
What makes somebody non-favorable?
Uselessness. I have no. I have no. I have no patience for somebody who's in the way and not useful. Like I will define that. Waleed's probably watching. Waleed is always in the way. It's almost comic relief. Like if we're putting a light there, he's standing there. If we're doing this, he's there. But Waleed is completely useful in his department.
Right. Yeah.
Need him. I don't need every person to jump to move in a light. Every person. Actually, I'd rather less. I'd rather just that guy take care of his job. Let me take care of my job. But I don't need people around that are not of help. You know, like.
I've found in my experience, like sometimes there's just people that just don't know what to do, and that's perfectly normal.
Yeah, that means there's
But
too
there's
many
some people that think that like, well, that's not something that I should do.
Right, they're not welcome either.
Yeah, that's.
So those two types of people, I don't need. The guy that doesn't know what to do, well, either don't do anything, which is fine if you have nothing to do, and you don't have. If you're an actor, this is the thing. All my actors want to jump in and help because we're a team. Like you're a fucking actor. Go, just look at your lines, run lines with your friends, do your thing, be an actor. Let me take care of the set dressing. You know what I mean?
But don't you appreciate that sometimes?
Oh, I appreciate the heck out of it, but really, I just want them to feel special for one day. Part of me making my friends that double duty jobs, like Steve's a big one. Steve helps with everything we do. He helps build sets. He helps cook dinner. He helps everything. But when it's his day of acting, because he's here, hey, just stay in your own head. Be in your quote-unquote trailer that we don't have.
Yeah.
You know, hang out with your friends, do what you need to do, but let's be ready to act. Let's not wear ourselves out building a set.
It's awesome.
And I know everybody wants to help, and that's fine. But I just want them to feel, and I try to remind everybody, I say this all the time, like, this is it, man. We're doing it. We're having so much fun right now. This is what we all want to be doing.
Yeah.
So let's do it, and let's have a good time, and let's make a freaking good movie, and not bitch and complain and Yeah, it's hot. It's always hot. Whatever. We live in Las Vegas. Who's not hot all the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at least this one's not going to be hot, right?
I don't know. Like, shooting at night seems super smart to me. Like, it won't be hot. Everybody still feels like it's going to be really hot. I don't think toasting's the right word.
It's going to smell. There's going to be some body odor.
Listen,
Clothing is optional.
This party, everyone is.
we'll just have like space spray deodorant on the craft services table so everybody can refresh themselves.
Like a junior high school locker room. It is awesome to be able to shoot at night, and it will. When we shot that last movie, we shot it in the middle of summer inside of a studio here in Vegas. That is kind of like you're built. You know, it's not proper like built with the right air conditioning.
Right.
It's a functional place to wear the thing. But god damn it, was so hot. Like literally, I almost passed out. I don't know, twice. But just out of like, but that was worse. Is my point is because it was in a confined space. It's the middle of the day, and you kind of don't realize how hot it gets when you're sitting there 4 hours later. You're like drenched in sweat. So
Here's I'm going to take you back to your question about who's the bad guy. This is an example of how we operate on our sets. You came to visit on the set the day Daniel Roebuck was shooting in Las Vegas Frankenstein. What you probably didn't know, and nobody else knew, is Vince didn't show up. He was late. He was really late. He was in a hotel taking a shower, and he didn't have his phone on him. We didn't know where Vince was. Daniel Roebuck had rewritten all of his lines, and I needed Vince to learn the new lines. But nobody on that set, except for me and Kayla, knew that that was happening. And that is exactly how a movie should be made. Nobody's huffing around yelling, "Where's Vince? Oh, we need Vince!" Nobody's making Daniel upset or nervous that his script's not being learned. And he's asking to run lines with the guy, and I'm just covering for him. Oh, yeah, he's doing something. He's going to be here real soon. You know what I mean? That is exactly. I will torture myself and my insides to keep everybody happy. That way, everybody on that set has an amazing time, and they want to come back the next time because we don't pay a lot of money. We're not. It's not a job for us. This is so much. I don't want to call it a hobby because it's more than a hobby, but it's a lifestyle.
it's like
It is. This is our choice to make these movies.
Yeah.
This is not our career. I've done that. I've had my career making movies. This isn't that. This is fun. This is exciting. This is making dreams and memories and inside jokes with our friends forever. And that's why when somebody falls out of that friend group, like Vince has kind of walked away from us, it's a bummer because we have so much inside jokes, fun memories, and stuff that it's like, all right, man, that was for nothing. Let's choose our friends better, you know? That's why I'm very particular about who is involved because I want everybody involved to be of the level that we are making memories. You know, when I see this handful of people running around that surround me on the daily, Chris is not After Dark, but Chris showed up and helped on the After Dark. He's got this huge After Dark tattoo on his forearm. And that just means part of the gang, part of the clan, part of the family. You know, and that is it's not lost on me, man. That's cool. And I don't expect everybody that works with us to get a tattoo. Molly. But I do, you know, the ones that do have those, like, brandings of, like, you know, I think that there's something, we have we all, and the people that don't, like my wife's never going to get a tattoo, and I don't want her to.
you have
But,
a tattoo?
yeah, right here.
Okay.
Here? Or this one? This is, yeah. Kayla has the same spot. And then Corey's got the same spot. Chris in Arizona has one. Steve's got one, this huge one, in the middle of his forearm. Who? Oh, Jamie. Jamie, who wrote the original After Dark with me in 10th grade, has an After Dark tattoo. She's in the clan. But there's just something, those add more characters to the mix. And every movie is we get more jokes and more fun times. And
Chris said he wasn't being salty.
oh, he kind of saw after three people quit. Three people quit the night of. Chris stepped up, and then Kayla too. They both were not supposed to be there.
People are just like, I gotta go.
Well, one girl actually, I forgot. That's why Chris is in the movie. His ex-girlfriend was supposed to be in the movie, and she was crying in the car and didn't want to do it.
The next girl waited on set for like 4 hours all day, and then when it was time to shoot, she saw there was water. She like bright pink hair.
She was like, "There's rain." We're like, "Yeah, there's a rain scene." And she's like, "I'm done." So Kayla did it.
I had a short that I did a similar sort of experience. The actress, the end of the short is, well, just straight up, everybody, like, there's these 3 girls that killed this guy. They shot up. It's called Main Street. He's a bad guy, and they were tied up, and they did what we laughed everywhere. But she had a script. She was cool as hell. Like, really nice girl, very fun. Don't work all day. We get to the last team. And I had made this super soaker type of thing with all the water in it, like this weird old. Anyway, so it was awesome way to spray blood, right? And she did not want it. She was like, she didn't say that she didn't want it. She was like, okay, there was like a lot of rules. And then I was like, what we have to do is like, this scene. Okay. And then every time I started to do it, I was trying to do it. She would do like this flinch. You know, I'm like, we can't have the flinch. Like, you're the girl for weed whacker. You're the one that's got to be enjoying it. Like, that's like the end of the scene. But it ended up working out. She wasn't. I guess she didn't pay that much attention to that part of the scene, which was only like 8 pages long.
Short.
Yeah, I really shared it. I don't think you've seen much short. I'm afraid to share with you.
I do hate short films. I'll watch them all.
Awesome.
I'm biased too. I like you.
Yeah.
I like your movies.
I love short films, but I don't. I think that these are similar to some of the. Like, realize I don't make too much short films. I want to make. I'm gonna go through all the work to make a movie.
Make a movie.
I want to like. There's a few short films I've made 4 or 5. I don't know. I spent a lot of time and a lot of effort making them. So like I don't know how, other than like the 48 that I did at the time. Still doesn't have a lot. So it's like I'm gonna put all that. How's that paint going? Is that a new,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, you're such a wealth of knowledge with the horror stuff. I get it all sticks in your brain. Do you know off the top of your head when it comes to like all the Friday the 13th movies? Do you have it memorized like which actors were Jason in each one?
Yes.
And even like the breakdowns, kind of. The only reason I bring it up is because my son and I was showing him these pictures. I had this picture with Steve Dash and Tony Moran when they were at
Big Dog.
yeah. And I was showing him, he thought it was so cool. And then he started asking about, I'm trying to explain to him how, he's like, that's Jason, like, it's Jason. He's like, I thought the other guy. And so I'm trying to kind of break it all down.
Steve Dash is Jason in part 2 with the stack on his head. And Warrington Gillette is when the stack comes on his head.
So what I was kind of curious, so this, but in that, and same with Tony Moran.
Tony Moran is the face of Michael Myers. So he is when the mask comes off at the closet scene and goes right back on. Tony Moran.
So he never is.
One scene over the railing, he's holding the knife. Right before that, same location, is Tony Moran.
And then what about Warrington? Is he never?
Never in the sack.
So he just threw the brake, like when he breaks through.
Just when he breaks through the window and break the helmet in the cabin.
And why did that happen so much?
Some of it was just for like setting and shooting, you know, stuff like that. Some I can't say in part two it was because Warrington was a stuntman and Steve Dash wasn't, because Steve Dash was a stuntman. In the movie, Warrington is the only one credited to play Jason, but that's because they considered Jason the one without the sacrifice.
What do you mean by that?
Just like if you watch the end credits, it says Jason Warrington Gillette.
Part of that
Stunts,
too.
Steve Dash. But then you say Jake Gordy stunts, just this.
Because I was curious about that as I started learning about it, older, was like, why why they didn't just give something that would be the face as well? Was it Tony or something like that?
Nope. Tony was just looking for some work, and he was. You know who his sister is? His sister is. She's. I can't believe I forget her name. She's the chick, Joni and Chachi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Moran.
Totally forgetting Moran's sister.
Yeah.
Very famous.
Shop's better than that, too.
She's doing.
That's almost.
And he never told her that he was like mine. They weren't close at the time. And so they were at a Chiller Theater convention. He told her this. They were at a Chiller Theater convention, and she set up and he set up, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "I know, right?" And he pointed up into Michael Myers. Because he said back then doing that part was like not highbrow.
It's so funny, right? So interesting, sort of the things that. It's like Nick Castle's thing. He was friends with.
He was roommates with John Carpenter.
Yeah.
But Nick Castle directed Last Starfighter,
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace. He's a freaking great director, you know.
But him being, wasn't the story about him becoming Michael Myers? It was kind of just like it wasn't properly planned out. Right?
No, it's like, well, I tell Waleed he's gonna play
Yeah.
Casey. You know, like, hey, you're here, you're the guy.
Yeah.
It's like when Kayla ends up being Lady Casey.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't choose to, like, she didn't audition
Yeah.
for it. She just happened to be, depending on who you ask, the wrong place in the phone. I think it was great. Lady Casey's my favorite part of that movie.
Did you like it?
I'm Marilyn Myers. It was posted to see a photo, but then I got carried away. It looked awesome. I never saw Lady Gacy before, and I thought this is going to be what's remembered. And I'll tell you what, I think it is what's remembered. People love Lady Gacy. They all do. It's all over online. Come on, Caleb.
I just said it.
Ask Diamond Dizzle. You love Lady Gacy.
What did Lady Gacy make though?
Well, his wife was Marilyn Myers, but then my movie of Gacy is pretty much an acid trip of a movie, so we took a lot of creative freedom. At one point, for some reason, with some big hard sheep in the desert, Marilyn Myers shows up in full Gacy makeup. Yeah, not accurate.
Well, you can't deny that it didn't happen. I mean, no one
But here's the thing.
sure of that.
Our entire movie of Hello, My Name is Gacy, which comes out next month on June 8th, so make sure to watch it. That movie takes place, there's 16 minutes it took to put Gacy to death. When they gave him the lethal injection, it didn't work. So our movie takes place during that 16 minutes in his brain.
That's
And it's all explained for anybody who's actually paying attention and will understand what's happening. And I have actually gotten some really good reviews on this movie. I didn't know how it was going to be received.
It's a pretty like experimental.
Yeah, it is a tricky movie. And it's a movie that I made over the course of 16 years, which John Gacy was on death row for 16 years. So to watch John Carey age 16 years in the footage, it's freaking awesome. You can't buy that.
And now you don't know purpose.
No. That's called not finishing a project and then making Las Vegas I having so much fun and saying, we gotta finish Casey. It's done. It's out there for the world. It will be. June 8th. Nameless comes out tomorrow. The 12th is tomorrow. Nameless comes out tomorrow
On Tubi.
on Tubi. It already came out on film and streaming, and it was the #1 recommended
I
for
saw
a
that.
week.
That's fun.
1 week
That's
it was
fun.
#1 recommended. I don't know what makes something #1 recommended. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that I used to work there. But I'll take it, man. That was an honor. Also comes out on Trump Now tomorrow. Comes out on Awesome. Comes out on quite a few of them. Nameless will be everywhere. And I've heard some good reviews on Nameless. You know, it's tough with these little movies because people don't know what goes into them. But
Also, you have a very specific style too. It's like if you don't know what kind of movie you make. I mean, it's similar to drama. It's similar to but it's like
it's definitely a vintage feel. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't mean scratchy footage vintage feel. I mean like what you actually rented on the Dr. Giggles Sleepaway Camp 2 vintage feel. You know, something weird that you would rent on the video.
Yeah, I don't know how. Like, I couldn't. I don't know how I would classify your movie.
No,
I was trying to. Yeah, I mean, like, because I mean, I use the term campy, but I don't know if that's the right term. But I know there's a campiness to them.
Definitely a campiness, the goofiness. I don't know, man. I just think they're fun. We try to make a movie that I would have enjoyed watching when I was young. That's all it comes down to. Not even a movie that I would enjoy watching now. 'Cause I don't really watch people the same way. Something I would have enjoyed watching when I was young.
Do you think that you would like to make a movie that's like very like I don't know, like slow burn, rooted in
Track
deep
Track
reality?
is super slow burn. But like a serious movie?
Yeah, like something that's very serious. I mean, even if it's a horror movie, but like more like.
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, I guess that's a good example. But I know that's
No idea.
a specific type of story. That's a terrible way of explaining the movie. But that's what I mean. But it's like you're not shooting for that type of experience.
I think what we are shooting for is just a movie that's fun to watch and you want to take memories. And I don't know if that's the same for everybody. But these are the movies I like watching. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't. You know.
Oh, one thing we have to do, we will get,
Like how?
is we need to make a Facebook group for our show.
That's something you can do because I am the most unlucky human with Facebook groups. I don't know how to do it, man. I've been trying to have a Facebook group for my band club, and it just constantly invites people that are not. Like my third grade teacher. It says, if you have a band, if you live in Nevada, you're welcome to join this group. I've got people joining that are not.
It's
Yeah,
funny
I guess
because
that's
I follow Facebook groups to try to like, get people more Facebook pages. I guess maybe it's okay to talk about what we want.
I don't know what the difference is.
Well, what we want is it to be something that people can follow, and then that's what we'll do a lot of our posting too.
I agree with you, and I'm a part of a lot of groups, and I enjoy being on there. I cannot handle it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to run it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah,
We have had a nightmare with the van club, I can tell you that.
did you guys, because you make it as like a business page, you make it as a group, like a community group is where everyone can like interact equally. You just are the admin of it. I think that's right. We should make for. Do you have anything like that for Planet 10 Pictures?
It is Instagram.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do that. But we'll chat about that a little bit. The idea would be just that's where we can, because we want to put it in multiple spots. Because the way YouTube or Facebook doesn't share the stuff, it sucks so bad. They can have What is Monster Music on Facebook? I found the followers. Got 1,000. A lot. You can do a post right now and see them like, it's like, what's weird, I created back when I first started working with YouTube, on the movie channel, I created a Facebook page or whatever called YouTube for movies. And so my plan was to like share movies so people were aware that the channel on YouTube. And then daily I get 20 people trying to the group. I don't know what photos, it's all like, you know, some Indian, you know, group that's doing for, I don't know, fake news or something, selling advertising. None of it's legitimate. But it's weird that that gets so much traction. And I don't think I ever done any of those. Yeah, so it's like, that's amazing. 11,000 people care. But if we share our post tomorrow, it'll show up in the feed of probably 1% or 1%. Well, alright, I think I'm done with this guy. I'm done with this a bit. What I'd like to play with next week is to try to sculpt the Vegas bit for
Yeah, that'd be cool.
fun to have.
When I first heard of Cincinnati Horror and I saw your logo, I told Drew, I said, let me make an animated prop of Vegas Dick. Like, I used to make these full animated zombie props, which is what I'm doing over here for Roger the Zombie for the attraction. But I wanted so badly to make like a wiggle and movement, they just put at the door or whatever, you know. And I used to make like the Frankenstein sign holders and stuff like that. Well, could you make us trophies? Yeah, I could make you some trophies. How many? Like 3? But yeah, that wasn't as cool. Like, I was like,
You know, when I
I
first
hate when
met
you,
you,
I hate when you offer something that's like to me, I'm like, I'm offering you something that I sell for $1,600.
yeah.
But I'm making it for free because I just want you to have one and have a little plaque on there that says Tom Devlin Monster Museum provided by Tom Devlin Monster Museum. You know, a little advertising for me. And then I made, well, I was told I was going to make 3 trophies this size, and then except for, I would get my logo on the screen, and I was like, okay. And so I did it because I was trying to be nice. And then I find out 30, not 3, 30. It wasn't like he forgot a 0. We talked in person. He said 3.
not good at the details. Not good at the details. You know, when I first met you at that convention, we were talking. The Days of the Dead.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time you and I really chatted. And you were like, yeah, because I didn't know that you knew. And you're like, yeah, no, I know. And you told me that. You're like, how did you make here? This thing. And I was like, what? I want that thing. Because I didn't even know. I didn't know.
I'm not going to offer anymore. I'm just going to make them and bring it. Say, well, this is what I did. But now I know how it works.
No, we love your work.
But
yeah, it's crazy. I put so much water on this thing. It feels like the water's not even being absorbed.
just trying
It just
to.
keeps cracking. Which, you know, adds a fun dried up.
I've got a really cracked up one over there that I need to reconstitute because I need it. I want it for the movie. And it's not molded yet. Get these molded to be done. That's the time.
How many zombies do you have in the movie right now? Molded and ready to go.
6.
6.
6 or 7.
And have you made? I know you made some of those. Some of those are going to go in the museum.
2 of them are in it. Went in last week.
Speaking of like our first one, that's sweet detail. But I saw that Return or the Leslie's Written movie.
Oh yeah.
They just had. They